Nigeria, a land where neighbors turn to family and family meetings turn into war councils. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to when two Nigerian mother-in-laws clash over who truly controls their children's marriage. My people, sit tight, because today we are entering the mother-in-law Olympics. And let me warn you, this is not your ordinary family wahala. Our story begins in Imo State at the glamorous traditional wedding between Eze, a calm, soft-spoken banker, and Chinwe, a beautiful fashion designer with a smile brighter than the sun. The hall was decorated in red and gold. Jollof rice smoke filled the air, and the MC was hyping the crowd. But while the bride and groom were exchanging smiles, two pairs of eyes were locked on each other across the hall. Enter the mothers-in-law, Mama Eze, a proud, fiery woman from Anambra State, famous in her village for wrestling goats when she was younger. Mama Chinwe, a classy, sharp-tongued woman from Imo State who once chased a debt collector out of her compound with a pestle. These two women did not see a wedding. No, they saw a battlefield. Who would control this marriage? Who would be the real queen in the new household? The first battle came quickly. As tradition demanded, the bride's family gave a long speech thanking the groom's family for coming. But before they could finish, Mama Eze interrupted. Abeg, make we hear word. My son loves Chinwe. We don't need all this long talk. Mama Chinwe snapped back. Eh? Is it your village? Will you tell us how to do our tradition? The hall went silent. Even the DJ paused his music. Ladies and gentlemen, the first whistle had been blown. The mother-in-law Olympics had officially begun. After the wedding, Eze and Chinwe moved into their new place in Lagos. But before they could even settle, both mothers arrived with luggage. I cannot let my son and his new wife suffer. I must stay and guide them, said Mama Eze dramatically. And I cannot abandon my daughter to strange people. I must stay too, responded Mama Chinwe, equally dramatically. So, in one small house, we now had a new reality show, Mother-in-Law Olympics, Lagos edition. The first challenge was kitchen supremacy. At 6 a.m., Mama Eze rushed to the kitchen with her wrapper tied high. Today, I will cook onugbu soup. My son needs strength. But just as she was boiling water, Mama Chinwe stormed in. To fear, my daughter cannot eat that bitter soup every day. Today, we are cooking ofe owere. Ladies and gentlemen, picture two heavyweight champions fighting over one pot. Knives? No, they use ladles. Strategy? Plenty. Mama Eze added salt. Mama Chinwe removed it. Mama Chinwe added crayfish. Mama Eze poured more palm oil. The result? One confused soup that nobody could eat. Even Eze and Chinwe's dog refused to taste it. A few days later, the next Olympic event, the cleaning marathon, commenced. Mama Eze cleaned the living room at 9 a.m. Mama Chinwe recleaned it at 9:30 a.m. Mama Eze swept again at 10 a.m. Mama Chinwe mopped at 10:15 a.m. The back and forth continued until they were both exhausted. By noon, the tiles were shining so much that neighbors wore sunglasses when they visited. But the mothers were not smiling. Each one wanted to prove she was the superior homemaker. Months passed. Then came the announcement. Chinwe was pregnant. The two mothers smiled, but deep down, their rivalry only intensified. For them, the unborn baby was not just a grandchild, it was the Olympic gold medal. My grandson will bear my father's name, boasted Mama Eze. Mama Chinwe snapped. Your grandson? What if he's a girl? She will learn my family traditions. Now, wow, even the unborn child had already been dragged into the Olympics. As the months passed, the rivalry grew darker. Little arguments became huge quarrels. At night, Eze and Chinwe couldn't sleep. The mothers would shout from their separate rooms like rival football commentators. One night, Chinwe overheard Mama Eze praying loudly. Lord, let my son never forget me. Let him know I am the pillar of his house. The next night, Eze heard Mama Chinwe praying too. God, protect my daughter from strange women in this house, especially her mother-in-law. Ah, my people, this was no longer a small family drama. This was spiritual warfare. The peak of the mother-in-law Olympics came during the baby naming ceremony. Both women wore matching head ties, but their eyes were sharper than knives. The pastor asked, what shall we name the child? Mama Eze shouted, Obina, my father's name. Mama Chinwe shouted, Chidima, my mother's name. The crowd froze. The baby cried louder. Even the pastor was confused. Just as they were about to start physically wrestling, Eze stood up. For the first time, his calm voice thundered, Enough! Eze carried the baby gently and looked at both mothers. This child will not bear your father's name, and not your mother's name either. This child will bear a new name. Peace, because that is what this family needs. The hall went silent. Even the baby stopped crying. And just like that, the war was over. The two mothers looked at each other, and for the first time, they laughed. At least the child looks like me, teased Mama Eze. No, she looks like my family. But let's share her, said Mama Chinwe, laughing. From that day, the two mothers found peace. Well, not perfect peace, but enough to retire from the mother-in-law Olympics. They still argued sometimes, but instead of fighting, they now joked about who would win if there was ever a rematch. And Eze and Chinwe, they finally had their home back. So, what did we learn today, my people? When two Nigerian mother-in-laws collide, it's no longer just family, it is Olympics. But in the end, love and laughter will always win. Until, of course, the next baby comes. See you at the Mother-in-Law Olympics Part 2. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, hit the like button, drop a comment, share it with your people, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next one.